Also, if you're watching on replay or if you're watching live, if you're watching on Facebook and somehow you have a little problem with your feed, you can always jump over to YouTube and see me over there too. Melissa tries to keep tabs on what's going on both places. All right, I'm seeing some people. Hi, Diane. Hi, Jackie. Linda. I hope everybody had a good weekend and didn't get stuck in the snow somewhere. We almost did, but we made it home. I had a good driver. Oh, let's see. Jackie, Julie, Sherry, Nicole, Brenda. Good. I missed everybody. I was, where were we? I think I was on the airplane about the time I should have been doing this last week, halfway between Mexico and Detroit. Cindy, hi. Janessa, it depends on when you're talking about. Over the last couple days, I would say we've gotten 6 to 7 inches based on what's on my deck, but it's been so windy, it's hard to kind of tell. Mom and Dad are on YouTube. Excellent. I'm Malcolm, IE. Saturday we got a fair amount. It fell pretty good. My daughter had to work Sunday morning and was not too thrilled about having to go out in that. She's part of the real world now, where they're not going to close the store just because there's some snow. You still have to be there as an employee. Joyce working on the musical scarf and tentacula hat. Cool. Joan working on your whatever sweater. Excellent. Working on Sharon Air, Debbie. Diane, yes, the weather was great. We'll talk about that too. Jill, okay, good. So 7:01, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is Monday, January 30th. I cannot believe we're already a month into this year. It just is crazy to me. My name is Kristen. I am the owner of the Little Yarn Shop located in downtown Saginaw, Michigan, inside the SBRC Marketplace. The shop is open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I go live pretty much every Monday night on Facebook and on YouTube. Both places, the videos are saved. So if you miss part of it, you come in late, have to leave early, you can always go back and catch up. And we try and keep an eye on the comments after the fact. Melissa's going to try and finish your Snarkometer before the next two. Yeah, there are some knit-alongs coming up, but I think they're just spring and fall tend to be major knit-along time. So first, yes, I am back. We went to Mexico for 5 days, got back to the States 9 o'clock Monday night. I've had people ask me why I didn't bring more sunshine back. My answer is I packed as much as I could into my suitcase. Most people around here got that Tuesday morning for like 10 minutes. And then that was it. And then the snow was back. But it does seem to have been a little bit brighter. At least today it was. I noticed because I couldn't find my sunglasses. But the weather in Mexico was beautiful. The resort was fantastic. We were in Riviera Maya, which is about an hour's drive south of Cancun, south of the airport. And we got a little nervous because the day we got there, we were waiting to check in that evening, waiting in the lobby and heard this noise, couldn't figure out what it was. Looked outside and it was this downpour, like torrential rain downpour for like 10 minutes. And we all kind of looked at each other like, is this what we have to deal with for the next, like, we came all the way to Mexico for it to be raining the entire time. But really, that was the only storm type weather we had. Every once in a while, there might be a few sprinkles, but it was beautiful. We got some sun. We walked, put our feet in the ocean, in the Gulf, I guess. Lots of pools, lots of good food. We had a really great time. Hi, Michelle. So lots to talk about since I wasn't on last week, starting with what I'm wearing. I got it done in time. I put a post together and I think I forgot to actually post it of kind of a photo collage of me in Mexico in all of my knitwear because I wore some of my knit tops every day that I was there. So hi Julie. The top that I'm wearing is the one I was working on right before I left, and I finished it right before I left. So this is the Etta top from Barocco. Just cute little eyelets up here. The eyelets go all the way around. The yoke is shaped not with raglan increases, but just evenly distributed increases all the way around, which is nice and easy. Lisa finishing up socks. I hope you're feeling better. The top is done with Barocco's Summer Sesame. I don't remember if I had to go into a second skein or into a third skein. Let me look at the pattern and see. I'm trying to get better about, I had to go into a third skein. So I used about a third of the third skein. I know Melissa posted a link, but there's a little bit, a better picture of the Etta top. Uses anywhere from 2 to 5 balls of Summer Sesame. If you're interested in colors, you can always text us or call us or pop back to the video 2 weeks ago, I think, when I went through the colors and you can see. Can't hear me? Uh-oh. Better now? Okay. I don't know. It still sounds a little off in my ear, but if you guys can hear okay, that's good. I'll give everybody a minute to catch up. Okay, so as I was saying, I think 2 weeks ago, I talked about all the different colors of Summer Sesame, and we still have quite a few of those in stock. So if it's something you're interested in, you can pop back and watch that video and see what all the fun colors are. This top was really fun to knit. The pattern is well written. I like Barocco patterns. I'm proud to be bringing more Barocco yarns in the shop because they're a good company to work with and to get things from. So, and they support LYSs, which is fantastic. So that's what I finished and what I'm wearing. What am I working on? I am working on another new Barocco pattern. So I mentioned briefly a couple weeks back when I was showing the Summer Sesame that there were some new summer yarns coming out and they finally released some of the patterns. I don't have the pattern books in the store yet, but I have the yarns and the patterns are available online. If you go to Barocco's website, they've got kind of a feature with the new yarns, new patterns, that sort of thing. But I am using one of their new yarns called Lumi. Lumi. And it is, I don't know if you guys can see the sparkle. I think in Facebook land, you might be able to see the sparkle a little better than on YouTube. But this is kind of like, it's a pretty peach color. I got all the colors they got. So I have it on the table because I haven't even put it out. And hi, Ruth, thank you. I haven't even put the yarns out or priced them yet, but everything that I got, new yarns to the shop and new yarns from Barocco, are all wool free. So this one is 80% cotton, 18% polyester, 2% other fibers, which would be the sparkle, I imagine. But what I am making is a top, and I think Melissa and I figured out it's Elites, the name of it. It's a little poncho with lace along the sleeves. I can't really call it sleeves because it's not, it's open along the side. So I guess the edges, there's a better photo of what it looks like open. You could probably stitch it up if you wanted it closed along the sides, but I like just the over the head poncho style. I've had a few other ponchos in the shop that have had that similar look. The yarn is knitting up beautifully. For this project, I decided I needed to be on my Hiya sharps. So they're interchangeables, nice and sharp tip, which works well for this yarn because because it is a cotton base, there's not a ton of stretch in it. Which means sometimes you can, if you've got wood needles, you might be fighting it a little more, trying to get things moving. So I'm on my Hiya sharps. And this is what I have so far. So there's the middle section is just knits and purls, just stockinette. But along each side is this really pretty lace. And I'm really happy with how it's looking so far. And it's a pretty, it's written and charted. I don't know if you can see the sparkle any better in the actual knitted item. This is one of those yarns that photos just don't do it justice. The pattern photo doesn't do it justice. I think, well, I'm sure on the Barocco website, they've done a better job with professional photos and getting the colors accurate and more vibrant. I am just really, really happy with it. It's a DK weight yarn. So the pattern calls for sizes 7s and 8, size 7 and 8 needles. I did swatch. And that is, you make 2 panels. So, and it does actually have some shaping up around the shoulders. So they have a schematic here, but you make 2 panels, the front panel and the back panel that are identical. You do some shaping around the shoulders, so it lays nicely there. And so swatching, I thought I was going to use wood needles on this because I thought that would help me get closer to gauge. Hi, Oriana. So I swatched on 8s. So here's my little swatch on 8s. You can see it's a pretty open, loose fabric. Their swatch, their gauge called for 20 stitches over 4 inches. So I cast on, I don't know, 30 or 35 stitches, measured that center section after I washed it. I figure there's going to be some weight to this yarn. So after I soaked it, I kind of did just tug on it a little bit to see if that would make much of a difference with the fabric. And it really didn't. My stitch gauge did not change from before blocking to after blocking. However, Sherry, how much yarn is needed? Of the Lumi, because they're 50-gram balls, anywhere from 8 to 13 balls. And although it doesn't look like it, they have the measurements are of the total width. So it doesn't measure shoulder to shoulder, but it goes from 29 inches on the small end to 49¼ inches at the high end. And that's edge to edge from here to there. So remember, that's not a bust circumference because it is kind of just an open drapey thing. It's going to be open on the side. So, it's not form fitting at all. They say the model is wearing the third size, which is the size that I'm making. So that the model is wearing a 39. You can see how far it comes down on her arm and kind of get an idea from there. So what I did notice, and this is the importance of swatching, and Karen and I, and actually even Suzanne had a bit of a chat about this because my row gauge shrank. So I didn't knit 4 inches. I got a little bit lazy on that and I only knitted, well, maybe 3.5 inches. So I measured my row gauge and this is something I forget to do sometimes, but I really highly encourage it, is measure your swatch before and after you block it. It gives you a lot of information. So my row gauge, I went from having 16 rows over 3 inches to having 20 rows over 3 inches. So that means 16 inches would be wider, 20 inches would be narrower. So that means my finished fabric may shrink up a little bit in length. Now, what do you do with that information? That depends. Depends on the pattern, depends on how you think you're going to block it. I don't know how much that will be accurate with the finished garment because of, like I said, the fact that there is going to be some weight to it. It is a cotton blend yarn. So that may stretch out some of that fabric again. But where it comes into play is if, for instance, that this pattern says to knit following the chart for until you get to a specific length, until 17 inches. That's kind of a hi, Latanya, Tony. Hello from Lauren. Hi. I don't know what to do with that information in this case. If it were a more fitted garment, I think I would be concerned that I would have to knit additional length before I blocked it to take into account the fact that it might shrink up a little bit. So this is kind of a what's the word I want? Test? Experiment. Kind of an experiment for me to see what the finished garment will do. The pattern is written by Barocco and it is written for this yarn. So I will shortly, within hopefully the next month or so, have a different shop sample coming from Barocco. But when I got the pattern book, I saw this pattern and just I fell in love with it and couldn't wait for it to come out because I wanted to get started on this right away. So I will have more to report on that as things progress. But I do have, if you see the colors online and you like the colors, I do have them. I'm pretty sure I have all the colors here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. I have a table full of yarn, you guys. Tomorrow's task after I meet a friend for coffee is to use that caffeinated energy and come into the shop and work on at least tackling the table and getting that a little bit under control. Okay, so that's what I'm working on. What else did I finish? I finished a cowl. And sometimes when you can't find a pattern that does what you want it to do, or you just can't even find one out there that is something that's appealing to you, you just kind of have to make your own. So that's what I did. I will be writing this up. I have it tentatively written up, but I need to write it up the rest of the way. So I took one of the skeins of the Color Burst yarns from Wonderland. So we've talked about these yarns quite a bit, the assigned pooling or planned pooling yarns, where I don't have this color, but I'll grab another color so you can see what it looks like in the skein. Okay. So skeins that are dyed in a method like this, they call it like a dip dye at the edge. Most of the skein is one color. You've got one little portion that's a different color, and you utilize that to your advantage in a pattern. So one skein of sport weight yarn in one of the this is a Wonderland Mad Hatter. So 344 yards of a superwash merino. And it's just a little cowl. It's got these fun little drop stitches. It's very simple. It was fun to do and it keeps you entertained. There's really no right or wrong way to do it. If you miss something, nobody's gonna know. If you mess up a little bit and you do the drop stitches incorrectly, nobody's gonna know. It's just a fun little texture. So this pattern will be coming hopefully soon. So just a little cowl. I'm going to try also to put modifications in there. If you have a yarn that is either a worsted weight or a fingering weight, and you want to do something similar, because we are getting more and more of those yarns in. Along those lines, I just went to the mail boxes, went to the mailboxes here at the marketplace to see if I got anything between Friday and today. And it turns out I did. I got a package from Knitted Wit, and it is February's Herstory. So last month we talked a little bit, I introduced you guys to it. Yarns inspired by female authors. So Herstory is a play on words like history, but women. Each month, Laura Jean and Shannon, who are the dyers for Knitted Wit, feature an author. They do this cute little love letter that talks about why they chose the author, some of their materials, some other suggestions of people who are similar. And you guys, this color is perfect for February, for Valentine's Day. So the author for February is Octavia Butler. I'm not going to read the whole little love letter to you, but she's got quite a few books out. She lived from 1947 to 2006, but the color is called Lilith's Brood. And look at this, you guys. Talk about a good February Valentine-y gorgeous color. And I really think you could use this any way that you would use the color burst yarns, because it has this one little section of a contrast color and the rest is very different. So this is their fingering weight, 4 ounces, 420 yards, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. I only get 4 each of these. I get 4 fingering weight and 4 worsted weight, and that's it of this yarn. It is a club, so only shops that participate in the club can get this yarn. And here it is on the worsted. This one took a little bit more of the orange, but it's still that vibrant orange, peachy. And then this is it's like a really dark purple. I don't think you guys can tell because it almost looks black on the screen, but it's a really, really dark purple. That one looks a little more purpley. The worsted is 4 ounces, 200 yards, 100% superwash merino. Worsted, the skeins are $29.50. The fingering are $31.50. Again, if there's something that you see that you are interested in, want us to set aside for you, just throw a comment out there that says what you want, how many, whether you're going to pick it up or have us ship it to you. This one I think is going to go pretty quickly. I have a couple left from last month. This one I don't think it's gonna be around very long. So if it's something you're interested in, let us know sooner rather than later. And, oh, they sent us this little thing too. I forget to show that. So what it looks like if you knit it into a tube like a sock, you would get this sort of little look there, which I think is pretty cool. I like that they do that to show it off to us. So let's see what's next on my list. Upcoming knit alongs. There are lots. I mentioned at the beginning, the two right off the bat that I have been hearing and talking about are the Mary Annarella, who goes by Marry Me a Little. She has done quite a few mystery knit alongs. She's hosting a mystery knit along that starts February 24th. Both knit alongs are shawls. Well, I think the Malabrigo one is more of a scarf than a shawl, but the Mary Annarella pattern is called Who You Gonna Shawl. And if you've seen any of her patterns, she very much loves plays on words, and she loves themes of things. So like she did the Great British Baking Shawl, and she's done a lot of sweaters too. Like she has one that my mom has done a couple times called Knit Me Baby One More Time. But so this one's called Who You Gonna Shawl. It calls for 4 skeins of fingering weight yarn. So go stash diving. She does give some guidelines, which I can go over kind of quickly. Yes, As You Wish, the Princess Bride one. Melissa's done a couple of them. So 4 skeins of fingering weight yarn. 1 skein needs to contrast with the other 3. She does recommend that you go with solids or tonals, maybe a light speckle. She really utilizes mosaic in a lot of her patterns, and I think this one's going to be the same. She kind of says there's going to be some color work, but no like 2 colors at a time stranded color work. So that indicates to me stripes and mosaic knitting. So you want 1 color that contrasts with the other 3. The other 3 don't need to be high contrast. So they have shown some pictures of like 3 shades of gray and then a bright green, or 3 shades of gray and a bright purple, or we've got those cool highlighter colors. Like there's that highlighter pink somewhere over there. It's hiding in the back, but we got this bright like highlighter pink. There's a highlighter yellow and a highlighter green up there. That's very true. She did the Killer Queen cowl, the one that I just finished not that long ago, and a few of you did. So that starts February 24th. It goes 6 weeks. That is a mystery knit along. It's going to be rectangular in shape, and that's about all I know about it. The other knit along coming up is for Malabrigo's spring knit along. This one is starting in March. Hopefully, I think last year they said March and then it ended up being April. But I do have the pattern already for this one. So they've started putting photos out there a little bit. It's not a mystery knit along. The pattern, I think the pattern will be available prior to the knit along beginning. I'm not sure. In order to participate with them and be eligible for prizes, they're featuring their single ply fingering weight yarn called Mashita. Let me grab a skein of that. So I don't have a lot right now, but I have a bunch on its way to me, and don't panic because you have like the entire month of February to get your yarns together. And then they haven't said when it's actually going to start. So I don't know if it will be the first part of March or later on in the month, but this is Mashita. This is one of the single lot ones. So anytime you see any color that has single lot, that means it didn't quite fall within their parameters of what they were trying to dye for a specific color. So it'll be really close. Like this is pretty darn close to water green, but they just don't want to call it water green. Melissa posted a link to sign up for the knit along. So it requires 2 skeins of, they don't have to be high contrast colors. Everything that I can see from this scarf looks like you knit half of it in one color and half of it the other color. So you kind of just want colors that go well together. Mashita is 420 yards and 100 grams, 100% superwash merino. It's a single ply, which means it's not highly twisted, but the way Malabrigo does their single ply yarns, they are pretty sturdy, pretty strong. So I think I can show you a couple pictures because they have put a few pictures out, but it's called the Long Journey shawl. Like I said, it's only I thought somewhere it said what the width, final measurement, 11 inches wide by 84 inches long. So it's a long, skinny scarf. At least with the preview copy of the pattern that I have, it is written out row by row. It has a lot of information. I really do want to get this going at least before the knit along starts. And I just have to pick my colors and we'll get started. If you're not concerned about being on social media and officially participating in the knit along, you just need 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn, approximately 400 to 420 yards in each skein. Hi, Julie. Oh, drumming. Julie does cardio drumming, and I think it looks so cool. I want to try it sometime. I think it would be terrible at it. So it's cables and a little bit of lace, I think. I mean, it's just like a couple different kinds of cables. So that's their featured photo. There you can kind of see the way they show it. It's like half in one color, half in the other color. Yes. Yep, that's what I was saying, Melissa. So if you want to be eligible for prizes, you have to use their yarns, the Mashita, the 2 skeins. If you Ruth, yep. If you aren't necessarily tied to or not interested in being an official part and being eligible for prizes, you can use anything that's on this wall or anything that you have at home. So for both projects, the Mary Annarella one specifically because it does use 4 skeins, it's a good opportunity to go stash diving, find 1 or 2 skeins that you like, that you think would go well together. And for the Who You Gonna shawl, it calls for 4. So if you have 3 at home, you want a contrast, come in, bring your ones that you have and we can help you find something to go with it. If you have one really special one that you want to use and you need coordinating colors, we can help with that too. Obviously we'd be happy to help you find all 4 for that one or both for the Malabrigo knit along coming up. So I will, as I get more information for the Malabrigo one, I will share it with you all. Let's see, what else is coming up? We talked about herstory. Wander Knit Patagonia. So right after I left to go out of the country, the shipment for the next Wander Knit location arrived. I have sent out, if you have been a past Wander Knit traveler, you should have gotten an email from me with a link to order your kit online or to come into the store. And I know a few of you have done that, but I have now opened it up to anybody that's interested. And so Wander Knit is a quarterly, what do I want to call it? Club, I guess. Each quarter, Skacel picks a location and they feature it and they come out with patterns and little goodies and all kinds of things. So this time it's Patagonia. And what do you get? In addition to your package with a little sheep button, penguin stitch markers, the 3 patterns. You get a cute little Wander Knit faux leather project tag. You get one of those each time. And this time their little goodie is a tea bag of yerba mate tea, a quarterly journey. Thank you. So the patterns, we've got 2 hats and a cowl this time, and they use Haiku's Highland Luxe yarn, which is 90% Highland wool, 10% mohair. Really great yarn for doing color work, doing warm things. One of the fun things about doing this Wander Knit is you get your hands on yarns that we don't generally carry here in the shop. So it's a fun opportunity for us to play with new yarns. It's a fun opportunity for you to play with new yarns. So these are I'm gonna say a worsted weight, 100 grams, 273 yards. So maybe a DK weight yarn. The Patagonia one, if you have participated in the past, or if you don't want the tote, it's 159. If you want the tote, it's an additional something. The yarn comes with it. So the way we do our kits is you've got the 3 patterns. So there's the Southern Andes cap, and you get the Yes Mom. I've got yours. You get all 3 patterns and you get the yarns in the pattern colors to make all 3 things. So there's this Glacier bandana cowl, which has some really pretty lace and some interesting little blips up in there that I think are kind of neat. The Mount Fitzroy hat, stranded color work, but it's not, looks like no more than 3 or 4 stitches in one color. Maximum 4 stitches in one color for the strands, and that's charted, of course, because it's color work. And the Southern Andes cap, which I think is a pretty neat design. Each little mountain has a different texture. I haven't looked through it too much, but so that one's charted also. It looks almost like it's a couple different layers the way the decreases are. So that's kind of cool. So the kit comes with all 3 patterns, your little package of goodies with the stitch markers, whatever their consumable is, a button and a tag, and the yarns for all the projects. So that's the current destination that we just got. And you end up getting 7 balls of this Highland Luxe mohair, Highland wool mohair yarn. So you get quite a bit of yarn. I have had some people just get the kits because it's a great collection of yarn to have. You get a variety of colors and you get a decent quantity, plus you get all the little goodies. Last time was Morocco. I do have 3 or 4 kits left from Morocco. Again, I know I talked early on, but this Wander Knit, only a handful of shops are participating, and each of us only gets 10 kits total. So it's kind of a fun little exclusive club to be part of. Last time, the Morocco one. So the Morocco kit without the bag is $135. You get 6 balls of Haiku Madrona, which is baby alpaca, merino wool, bamboo, and nylon. And it's a fingering weight. So you get 6 balls of 100 grams, 402 yards in pattern colors. The patterns for the Morocco one are this beautiful 2-color cowl. The Barkia knits, you'll get one or the other of the kind of the burgundy or the pretty rusty orange. And then the Zwina Scarf, which is a big shawl scarf in those 3 colors. So you get all of the yarn to do all 3 projects. The gifts from the Morocco one are pretty cool. One of the kind of the big with Patagonia, the kind of the souvenir thing is these little penguins, because in the flyer, they give you all sorts of information about the area. And they say there are 5 different penguin species in the Patagonia area. So it's a cool little, this one even has a recipe in there, cool little write-up about the area. The Morocco one, their gift is these beautiful coasters. Each one is different, has like the mandala look to them. So I have 4 left. Obviously, I have 4. I have 4 coasters left. So you get coasters, you get a package of spices, Ras Al Hanout spice. Maybe a coconut button, and then the little tags that come with it. So I have 4 of Morocco and 4 or 5 of Patagonia. If it's something you're interested in, again, let us know. And we keep track of the order in which people ask for things to make sure that the first come, first serve rules apply. If you haven't gotten one of the kits before and you're interested in the tote bags, they're really cute totes. It has an image of the entire world, all the continents. Each time, each location, you get a button that you can put on there. So as you're working your way through all the different locations, you can add them to your tote. So there's a picture of what the little tote looks like. And I find very helpful, they tell you with a little arrow where to put the button. Very helpful for people like me who are geologically challenged, geographically challenged. I'm geologically challenged too. That's my brother's territory. So last thing we didn't talk about yet, needles. I posted the other day that Knitters Pride has released images for their new limited edition needle set. It's called Joy of Knitting. This is their, they're calling it their Mother's Day special. The set, I'll read what they say about it. She's enriched your life with her love and support right from the beginning. Her generous spirit has helped you grow, flourish, and become the woman you are today. On a special day, you can share your love by showing her how much you value her and her talents with this one-of-a-kind Joy of Knitting Mother's Day set. You don't have to be a mother to get it. And you don't have to get it for your mother. I've got a few people that are going to get it just for themselves, and I don't blame them. So what does it look like? Here's the kit, Joy of Knitting. You get this tufted bag to keep everything in. The needles are colored wood. They are square needles, just like the purple set was last year or 2 years ago. And like a lot of their gift sets, they make a limited number of them. And once they're gone, they're gone. So this one has 7 pairs of the Cubics interchangeable needles, and it's Knitters Pride. So any Knitters Pride needles you have or cords that you have will interchange with these, just like any of the other ones, the Carbons, the Dreams, the Mindful, the Bamboo, the Cubics Platina, the regular Cubics. All are interchangeable. So you get 7 pairs of needles, US 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 and a half, and 11. 3 swivel cords, 6 end caps, 30 metal stitch markers, and 3 wool needles, plus a mini size matching punch needle embroidered pouch. So that's everything you get in that little kit. They only show a few of the stitch markers, but you get more stitch markers. One of the fun things that Knitter's Pride does is all of the accessories color coordinate with whatever the special needles are, and they're not necessarily something that you could get on any other way. So the set of metal stitch markers that comes in here, you can only get through this set. The colored end caps are only with this set. The little bag, this guy and this guy, really, and the colored needles, it's just exclusive to that set. So let me know. These are supposed to be coming, I believe, in March. So, yeah, let me know if that's something you're interested in. Janessa, I can go over that with you quickly. The herstory is called How We Show Up. Just so happens to be one of the many things on my table behind the cameras here. So this was January's. And I have one skein left of the fingering weight. So this is the one skein of fingering weight. And I have, it looks like I have all 4 of the worsted weight left. So there's the worsted weight guy. Pam, sorry, the needles are $135 for the set. Okay, those of you who expressed interest in the next order of the Chiago Forte needles, if you have paid a deposit to me, you should have gotten an email a couple weeks ago, a week and a half ago, with the status update. So the Forte needles production is on hold at the moment, but they do still have the supplies. They are working on, and if you are somebody who was able to get a set of the Forte needles on the first round, if you have had any problems with any of the needles, any of the tips, any of the cords, reach out to us, reach directly out to ChiaoGoo. If you're in Michigan, they are a Michigan-based company. It takes them no time at all to get replacements to you. The reason they are productions on hold is they have had more reports than they would like of some of the smaller needles, the wood breaking. I had a customer reach out to me last week and was having a problem with it. She reached out to ChiaoGoo, and their customer service person actually hand delivered the replacement to her. So they understand that there are problems for the quality that the standards that they hold themselves to, and the quality that they want to provide. They want to make sure that you're completely happy with your needles. So they are still going to produce more. They just have now said it's going to be closer to summer rather than spring. If you did not put down a deposit with us and want to be on the wait list, let me know and we can add you to that spreadsheet. We're not taking any more deposits because we've pretty much hit our threshold. I don't want to take any more I don't want to take any more monetary deposits in case ChiaoGoo comes back and says each shop is limited to a certain number that they can order. But I am still putting names on the list if it's something that you're interested in. All right, I think I went through everything that I had here in front of me. We talked about a lot of yarn. We talked about knit-alongs, events coming up, needles. That's all I can think of for today. Debbie, I believe I do. I will double check. We'll double check. I hope everybody has a good week. Coming up in a couple weeks, I am meeting with my sales rep for Malabrigo and Ridiculous. And I might be doing some cash and carry with Ridiculous. So come February 15th, you might want to find your way in here to see what may have appeared overnight. But that's a couple weeks away still. So I hope everybody has a good week. Stay warm, stay dry. Unless you're someplace down south like Mom, then stay cool, but not too cool. Okay, have a great week, and I will chat with you all. If I don't see you in the shop or talk to you on the phone, I will see you all right here next Monday.